Hi, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Careers Alumni Chat. My name is Vanchika Arora, and I'm a senior, and I'm a career peer intern with the UCLA Career Center. Today, we'll be chatting with Sarah St. John, the managing broker of St. John Estates. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're excited to have a chat with you. Before we begin, we want to let our attendees know that we will have a Q&A sessions after our 30-minute chat. So please feel free to hold your questions until the end. Sharon, thanks again for being here with us. So let's dive into our questions. Could you please tell me more about your current company and your position?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me here. I love doing everything that the Career Center asked me to do. So currently what I do, I'm a broker. So I own a real estate brokerage and I help people buy and sell houses here in Los Angeles. And then I also manage a team of real estate agents who do the same thing. So it's really exciting right now.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. So could you tell me a little bit more about your academic and career path and how that kind of led you to where you are today?
Yeah, of course. I came to UCLA in 2006, and I was very dead set on business, but at that time there was no business major or minor. The closest there was business economics. So I did that for a little bit. Like my last 2 years, I got really involved in academic research. So I kind of transitioned away from the business side of things and went more into research, ended up graduating with a sociology degree and was trying to do the PhD track and become an academic. Yeah, it's such a long, convoluted story, but essentially I didn't go to grad school. I got a job in marketing at a tech company in Santa Monica. So yeah, I was very happy working there, and I was interested in real estate, but I had never really thought of it as a career path until someone that I knew started talking to me about what they were doing in real estate, and it sparked my interest. And I Googled how to get your real estate license. It is very simple, easy to become a realtor. And so I was working at that tech company and then saving to start my own business. So it came full circle, the BusyCon and like planning your business. I think it was like a year of planning before I finally left that job and started as a real estate agent. So I worked as a real estate agent for 4 years. You have to practice for 4 years before you're eligible to become a broker and then build your own company. But I always wanted to have my own company. So at the 4-year mark, I went and got my broker's license and then opened my brokerage at the beginning of the pandemic last year. It was great. Perfect timing. But that's how I got to where I am today from UCLA.
That's incredible. And you've had like such a varied experience, since you graduated to when you like started your own company. Kind of like rewinding to UCLA, could you tell us a little bit about the clubs you were involved in? You mentioned you were in research. So what was that like for you? And have any of these experiences kind of like, or any of the skills you've picked up in these experiences kind of like supported your career progression?
Yeah, of course. Undergrad at UCLA, I was very active. I was like, UCLA is Disneyland for student activities. And yeah, I was involved in everything. I actually founded it was inactive for a few years. And then Precious from the Career Center invited me to start up the Black Business Student Association again. And so I kicked that off I want to say that was 2007, and, ran that club for a couple years. We got corporate sponsorships from like Boeing, and we were doing a lot of stuff. We need to pay for our t-shirts and whatever there is to do. That was a club. I was very active. with the African Student Union at UCLA. It was such a crazy time during 2006 because there was record low number of Black students that enrolled at UCLA. So I was just really involved. I got interested in academic research. Well, for scholarship money, that was an avenue. I became a Mellon Mays Fellow, and I was doing a lot of research, and it was really exciting. I also did some internships. I interned at Warner Brothers Records, and yeah, that was in Burbank. It was or I don't know what city that was, but it was a far drive. I remember that. And then Project Ethos, which is like a music, fashion, art platform for emerging talent. Okay, so all of these totally random undergraduate activities, how do they relate to what I'm doing today? I highly recommend any undergraduate get involved because I know it's like super stressful with all the school and your workload and the quarter system. I know it moves very quickly, but all of those different experiences introduced me to like the real world, which is very different than sitting in your lecture hall and like taking notes. So I learned how to interact with corporate partners in every one of those organizations. I learned how to work with clients at Warner Brothers Records, like high-end clients. That was great experience, especially it translates into real estate today. I learned how to manage time. You know, the more things you pile on your plate, the more valuable your 24 hours become, and then you use them really efficiently. So those were skills that I was learning as an undergraduate student trying to juggle all of this. I think those are the main takeaways from having such a heavy course load and extracurricular schedule.
That is incredible. Like, I'm in complete awe of everything you've done so far. So yeah, like you mentioned that you keep yourself busy throughout the day, and that's the kind of like skills you've gained doing all of these extracurriculars and internships. So kind of like looking at your day today from like when you wake up, what does your day look like? Are there any tasks and projects that are recurring, or how does your day look?
Okay, so my day right now is very different than usual because I did end up going to grad school. I'm currently completing a master's degree related to real estate at USC, but you know, we went across town. But anyways, and I want to make a point to say that my day starts like I prioritize like mental health and wellness and physical health. So I wake up, work out, do a little bit of writing, meditation, eat breakfast, and then arrive at my desk. I'm so happy there's no commuting time right now, but I'll sit down at my desk, and for the first couple of hours, I'm prioritizing what's going to happen that day. So what are the main things I need to do? And I kind of create time blocks for those in my calendar. And so maybe the hardest thing gets done at the beginning, and then around lunchtime, I will be sorting through emails, and then I'll go and tackle the rest of my to-do list. By the end of the day, I'm either in class or, yeah, mostly in class. And then at the end of the day, which is right now a little bit later than normal because of my the master's program, but at the end of the day, walk my dog, you know, watch a little TV and call it a night.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm sure like a lot of our students can relate to just like doing class all day and then, still trying to find time to prioritize like health, wellness, and that's really important for sure.
Right.
More specifically, when you were sort of like working as a broker, are you kind of like doing both at the same time, like doing classes and being a broker, or have you like taken a little time off to do classes?
I did not take time off doing real estate to do classes. It came at the perfect time because I did hire agents. And so just a little context for anyone interested in real estate, being a broker is the same as being a real estate agent. There's just an added component of managing employees. So at the time that I'm hiring employees is when I started doing the classwork. So I was able to delegate tasks. Yeah, does that answer it?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Mhm.
For a little more context for our attendees and like those of us who are kind of just getting familiarized with the real estate industry, could you kind of like walk us through a typical career ladder for someone who's joining as an entry-level professional in real estate,
Sure.
and what those kind of roles entail as well?
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. So entry-level position in real estate is a real estate agent. You get your license and then you have your license. The interesting thing about real estate is there's no paycheck just because you sat at your desk for 40 hours. At the end of the week, there's no paycheck. You make money in real estate when you close transactions. And everyone who gets their real estate license, entry level, you can just go do a deal now. So your day becomes, how do I get those deals? It's a sales job, sales 101, making new connections. I guess not convincing people to work with you. You're not like coercing them, but you're demonstrating what you bring to the table that's valuable over other people doing the same thing as you. So it's a lot of marketing, it's a lot of branding, it's a lot of I don't know, sponsorships, putting yourself out there in different places so that people think of you when they're ready to buy or sell or invest in real estate. That's very entry level real estate. Anyone can do that. Um, and then becoming a broker is the challenge turns into, how do you invite and retain other agents to work for your company? So that's kind of where I am right now. The next step in my career will be taking the money that I'm making in real estate and turning it into development projects, which is like building buildings. And I'm talking specifically about residential. The residential side of real estate is just how you purchase a home or lease an apartment or sell your house. But there's also a commercial side of it too, which is how businesses rent warehouse space, or the development side of it is how you turn land into buildings. So there's so many different aspects within real estate. And yeah, I think for this one, we're just focusing on the sales side of it.
Thanks so much for like walking us through that. I think that's definitely helpful, especially for our attendees who are kind of like exploring potential careers in real estate.
Right.
Kind of like going back to your experience, what do you enjoy most about being a real estate broker?
Well, what do I enjoy most? I feel like I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I love that I've created a business and I run a business, and any person in real estate is running their own business. So there's a level of autonomy and freedom that you get that you don't really get, you know, at working for someone else's company, really. So I love that aspect of real estate. I love the earning potential. There is no cap on your ceiling. Your income is directly correlated to your work, your effort. But with that, there's no real safety net. So, like I said earlier, you don't work 40 hours and then get a paycheck. You close a deal and then get a paycheck. So you can make as much money as you want, or you could just make no money. So, fortunately for me, I've been able to, relatively successful career in real estate thus far. And I love that it's really just a function of your business mentality. If you can like run your business well, then you'll make money. So I love that. And then I love real estate is it's like the sales cycle is not so short. It's not like, you help somebody buy something at the store and then it's just, you never see them again. This is like a 3-month process with a client. And a lot of the clients are first-time home buyers. They're really nervous, they're excited. You get to meet their kids and they need a yard for the dog. And it has a personality and a life of its own. And you get to guide the client through this amazing process, and it has a happy ending. It doesn't last for like 2 years, like these bigger projects at different companies, and it's not so short as like retail or something like, does that make sense? It's not like a short term. So it's kind of a cool process. You meet people, you make lifelong friends. Yeah, I think those are the main things I love about real estate. And then I just like real estate in general. So that's kind of cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, it definitely comes across that you get to really like do that relationship building and really understanding their specific needs and wants, and like catering to that. It sounds really fulfilling for sure. You briefly mentioned not having a safety net as like one of the downsides, but are there any other like challenges about doing your job, or anything else you'd like to share about that?
Right. There was a slight adjustment to not, I was leaving a salary career in tech. So I was very comfortable in relying on that income. And that was a bit of a transition when that went away. So any of the people that I mentor or new agents, we do a lot of financial planning to make sure that they're setting up their business so that they're not like desperate for a sale. That's such an uncomfortable place to be. And yeah, a lot of people leave real estate because they can't get over that first sale hump. They want to go back and just get a job. So that's one thing. And then the time management. So if you close a deal, it's usually a pretty large chunk of money. And then it's like, I'll take a week off. Like, like I did want to go to Greece, like, let's do that. Oh, I really want to go. It's so easy to, have a big win and then kind of relax a little bit and let your time blocking, I don't have to really do that today because you've got your reward. But yeah, real estate, it's very much reliant on your self-discipline. So you're always trying to build those connections and build those new leads, and keep your business running, not just like make some money and then go have some fun. That's a hard place to be. If you run your business like a business, a normal job, and you're the boss, and then you show up and be accountable to yourself, you see a nice steady flow of income. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And yes, thank you for your transparency as well. So you mentioned like people getting into real estate for sure should have a level of self-discipline, like keeping oneself accountable. Just going off of that, are there any other particular qualities, skills, experiences you think are important for people to have to like break into the real estate industry?
Yes, okay. So those are things that are very helpful in running the business, but the business is set up so that you can ultimately help the client. And I can't, this is a big one. Think about like a personal trainer is like coaching you through the little movements you're doing at the gym. Your broker, your real estate agent is coaching the client through a transaction. And if you think about it, the clients they're worked up. It's a big chunk of money. This is like the largest purchase of their life. Their family's dependent on it. It's going to become a little bit emotional. Okay. So it's really good to have a level of confidence and composure. And when they're freaking out, you know what's going on. They can trust you. They can rely on you to guide them through the process. And you make it a safe experience for them emotionally. So emotional intelligence is huge. And knowing how to keep people, I don't know the word. It's not, you want to keep everybody happy during the process. So it's like not that horrible of an experience for some people. Does
Keep the
that make
line
sense?
assured, and feeling comfortable, since like, as you said, like it is their biggest purchase of their life. And it's like really important to keep that in mind for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's definitely important to know and like put that into perspective of, the goal of the job.
Mhm.
So in terms of, an undergrad looking to prepare or like looking to get into the field of real estate, what kind of steps would you advise an undergrad to take?
Oh, well, first step is get your real estate license. And I do, well, before we went virtual, I was doing a workshop with the Career Center where it was like real estate as an undergrad, like side hustle or part-time job while you're undergrad. Because if I would have known about real estate, I would have much rather been a real estate agent while I was at UCLA instead of working at Powell Library and like, or at Ackerman. Those are just jobs that really didn't lead anywhere, but I had work study, Um, but you can invest the same amount of time and learning real estate and doing it just part-time or helping out a different agent, a local agent or broker in Westwood or something, and make the same or more money. So I highly recommend, if anyone has interest in doing it, even if you just sell your parents' house, if they're moving or something, you make quite a bit of money that helps pay for school and and then you gain really valuable experience so that if you are pursuing a career in real estate, even if you're going commercial or private equity real estate, or, if you're going into a different avenue, that sales experience, you understand the transaction of, buying or selling a piece of property. And that experience is super valuable no matter what career path you're going down in real estate. So I just say, like, get your license, sell a house. You'll get it from there.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
Um, as a follow-up, do you have any recommendations for like maybe job boards or any other suggestions for how students might look out for these part-time agent jobs or just to like build their side hustle?
Sure. So you don't, if you just get your real estate license, it's like an online course. 100 bucks, you do the online course and you can get your real estate license. And then if you're licensed, any brokerage will let you sign up with their brokerage. Because again, remember, they're not paying you. Like, they don't pay you a salary. You come to their brokerage just to process the transaction. Um, Ways that I found agents was like on social media. So I would find an agent that was, because I lived in West LA right there, like Brentwood area. So I looked for a realtor that was in Brentwood and like, hey, you're doing transactions in Brentwood. Do you need someone who knows social media? And I joined their team as the marketing social media young person. And that was such an easy fit because I was learning real estate for an agent that was doing well in Brentwood. And then I was able to help their team by doing their social media. So there's tons of opportunities like that. There are so many people in real estate that, don't understand social media. And as young people coming from UCLA, you're at a huge advantage if you just present what you could offer to the team. But even if you wanted to go solo, you could just sign up at any brokerage and they will happily put you on their roster.
Sweet, that's really helpful to know.
Mhm.
Um, so last question for like the structured part, and then we'll jump into the audience Q&A.
Mhm.
Kind of like looking back on everything you've done so far, looking at your career journey, your academic journey. If you could do it all again, would you choose the same path for yourself or would you change anything?
If I would do it again, I love the sociology major. I would have minored in accounting. Accounting is so, so valuable, especially if you have business or entrepreneurial plans for your future. That I've gone back to school and done certificate programs just to get a better understanding of business accounting and finance. I would have gotten my real estate license undergrad and done the sales portion of it part-time, so that by the time I graduated, my own business, my own brokerage, I would have already understood how real estate is going and hired people from there. I love that I'm doing a transition into development because I've, been saving money, selling houses, and built this little nest to be able to go out and build and do real estate investing. So that would be my career. I just compacted so that it was undergrad and then graduate, go into real estate development.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
So yeah, now it's open for audience Q&A. So if our attendees have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat.
Hello. Can I ask my question instead of? Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here and giving us all of this great information. My name is Edith, and I was just wondering, what's the process like to apply for a master's in real estate?
Okay, yes, the MRAD program, Masters of Real Estate Development, it's offered at USC and Columbia. It's not a very but you do need work experience. So you can't, some master's programs, you can just go straight from undergrad into these programs. The MRAD is more, it's very hands-on, and you do need a little bit of experience within the real estate field before they'll consider you as a candidate. Similar to an MBA, where you have to have some work experience before you can go do the MBA programs. But it's the same application as undergrad. There's a form, you write an essay, you provide your resume, there's an interview process, and then you get accepted.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 questions in the chat from Emma. The first one is, how important is image?
Image is, well, that's a broad term. I think it's very important to have a brand for yourself as any professional. So when someone looks at you on LinkedIn, what is their first glance going to say? And that's the same way. I'm a professional. People look at me and want to feel confident that I can deliver what they're looking for, whether it's buying a house or helping them invest, or if they want to sell their house. So that brand and identity, that is very important. And you get to decide what you want your brand to be. I'm not a selling sunset kind of realtor. You know what I mean? I'm more, I think everybody deserves housing. I love helping first-time home buyers. I'm more of the person who educates people about the home buying process. So that's just my brand, and that's my image, because I want my clients to read that loud and clear on my website, on events like this, on my LinkedIn. I think brand and image, super important, but I don't want to say image the superficial kind of way. So
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And the second question, also from Emma, is it a good idea to get a real estate license just to buy and sell your own house?
This is a great question. So if we're looking at the number side of it, when you're selling your house, you pay a commission to the real estate agent. That real estate agent, that commission is, I don't know, 5% of the sale price. And that agent turns around and promotes the house for sale on all the real estate professional sites that individuals or people without licenses don't have. So you're paying for a skill that the professional is providing. If you get your license just to be able to sell your own house, you don't need a license to sell your house. You can just sell your house without the license and avoid paying that professional fee. But it's kind of like selling, like, since it's not on all the professional sites and it doesn't have an agent representing the home, it's kind of like selling your house at a garage sale. You know, like people are, it's just a different experience. But getting your license just to sell your house doesn't really do anything for you unless you're going to get all the professional licenses and tools that regular real estate agents have. Does that make sense? So if you're looking to just save money, you don't need your license to sell your house. So I do recommend getting your license if you are going to be buying and selling a lot of real estate. Definitely saves money. But when you pay the professional, it's money well spent. They know the market, they know the industry. They'll be able to help you accomplish your goal. They're the professional. So it's kind of up in the air.
Awesome, thank you. Follow up from Emma, it says, I love selling Sunset. Is real estate as glamorous as they portray it?
That, selling Sunset, yes. If you go, Los Angeles is an amazing town for real estate, gorgeous homes. Yeah, lifestyle is a big thing here in LA, like obviously. So it is really glamorous if you go and kind of do that side of the real estate scene. Yeah, of course.
Fun fact, I binge watched all of Selling Sunset at the beginning of quarantine in like a week. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I don't think that's real, like the majority of the transactions that are happening, but it is fun to watch.
For sure. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Roxana has a question that says, do real estate agents often work with construction/development crews?
No, not really. So the sales side is different than the development side. And usually the developer will hire the construction crew and all the contractors to build whatever they're building. And then if they are building houses that are for sale, then they will hire the agent to sell the houses once they're built. But the agent is just the final professional that the developer will hire in the process of building a new house.
Thank you. We have another question from Patrick. They say that I have my license and have my first listing appointment next week. Congratulations. Do you have any advice? Do you usually try to get them to sign the listing contract on the first meeting? I'm pretty nervous.
That's very exciting. Congratulations. So that's like the hard part. If you focus your day around trying to get listing appointments, you'll be very successful in real estate. So all efforts to this process. But once you do get the appointment, it's like, oh my goodness, now what do I do? So I remember my first listing appointment, and I was actually on a team, that agent in Brentwood. And I was like, no, I put in all this hard work and I got the listing appointment. I don't want to bring that agent with me. And so I just went and met with the client by myself, and I had my folder and my contracts ready. And I remember I was very nervous, and like the client can read that. They can read that off of you. And he asked me a question about one of the contracts, and I didn't know the exact answer. I couldn't just give him that hip slick and cool answer. And I totally fumbled that portion of it. And so he said, I'll just take the contract and get back to you. I couldn't close it. And I was like so heartbroken because I had been cold calling and, door knocking for, I don't know, 6 months up until to get that client, that appointment. So my advice is, yes, there's scripts that you can practice, of course, But you should know the contract in and out, front and back. Like, what are they signing up for? And how are you going to help them sell the house? There's only so much you can do, but you have to deliver that information to them so confidently that they know that you're the right person for them. You're going to get the job done. So whether you're going to be the fastest seller because you're the digital whiz and you can get it up on all the sites overnight and great pictures, and or maybe you're the designer, so you're going to stage it the best and work with the best people to make this house look amazing. Or you're going to discount the price. Maybe my commission will be lower than other people's commission, so I'll save you guys money on your bottom line. Whatever you're offering, make that really clear, and then understand what you're asking them to sign, all the different parts. If you do have a partner, and like if I would have done it again, I absolutely would have brought my my team lead with me, because even if we would have split the commission, I would have made some money. But I got 100% of $0 when I fumbled that deal. You know, I got 100% of nothing. And so in hindsight, I know I was like super proud and excited to have my first listing appointment, but I don't, even today, if I go into a new market and I'm selling someone's house in a neighborhood I don't have that much experience with, I'll partner with a local expert so that, you know, we can deliver the solution confidently to the client. Because yeah, 100% of zero is still zero, you know? So I'll take 50% of the commission if that means I get the deal. So, and I'm not too proud to partner with other people. Some people are really great at staging, so I'll bring them into partner. Or some people are really great with, I'm really good with multifamily, and some agents have no idea how to value a 4-unit building over just a single family house. So we'll work together. I'm always supportive of collaboration, especially when you're nervous or new to something.
Thank you for sharing about your first deal. Yeah, no, that's amazing to hear. And it's also like really reassuring and like, you know, helpful to calm the nerves. Mm-hmm. We have another question from Emma. Did you start real estate on the side or just jump right in? Also, how many people do you manage and how has that been?
Mm-hmm. So I did start it kind of on the side. I was working full-time in marketing at the tech company, but on the side I was like building my website and ordering business cards, and you know, or first I got my license, I did the classes while I was working there. I mean, obviously not at the same time as work, but I was doing it like on the side. And then I was starting to let people know that I was involved in real estate before I ever quit my job, because even if I quit my job today, how am I going to get that first deal? So all of the things that we were talking about with Patrick, getting that first listing appointment, you can start that activity now, going to networking events, sending out mailers, or putting ads on Google that you're the real estate person for your neighborhood. So I definitely started that in the beginning. But there was a point I saved up a little bit of money where I did ultimately quit and jump in full time. That was like 6 months into like the part-time thing.
Awesome, thank you. We're almost at the end of our time, so if there are any last few questions, we can definitely take those.
I do have a quick question. So I know there is like sustainable environmental development, like when it comes to buildings, but is there like a sustainable portion or something to do with real estate, like when you're selling or maybe advertising a house that you're trying to sell to clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just depends on whether the home is built that way. Then you could definitely highlight all the eco-friendly features of the home. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, but there is a big wave of environmental certification and eco-friendly building types that are coming out now, especially on the development side. But on the sales side, I'm selling this house the way it is. So if it is, then I promote that. If it isn't, then there's nothing really to talk about.
Thank you.
Sweet, thank you so much. Do you have any last words of advice for our attendees today?
If you're considering a career in real estate, fantastic. It's not a huge commitment to get started. You've already done UCLA. That's a huge commitment. You're more than capable. So I definitely encourage anyone who has interest in it to try it out. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for taking the time to come speak with us and share your journey. I'm sure it's been an inspiration for a lot of our students. And thank you to our audience for listening and engaging with us. For more information on conducting your own informational interviews, please refer to our career guide. And I will send the link to our career website in the chat. Thank you again.